Yeah, so that was the artist's name is Chicasso, and I was at the Austin Blues Festival, and that's a printing that he painted over, a printing of his original painting that he painted over. And I just really loved the work. And then this one is the same thing. So if you've been in Austin, you've seen the guy who used to spray paint himself all silver and stand on South Congress.
Leslie?
Do you remember that? No.
It's the metallic guy.
Yeah. Yeah, that was him.
Okay.
Oh.
Come to find out. All right. Well, welcome. Thank y'all for being here. So like I said, when we were kind of sitting down here, this is an opportunity to get to know y'all a little bit, get to know your role in the Austin music scene. So, I know we've got couple things to cover, but I like to always start the show off with, kind of talking about who you are as a person. So starting off with where are you from, Karyn?
I am originally...
Let's start with name. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
We should start with that, right?
That's okay. I'm Karyn Scott. I'm originally from Houston, but I've been in Austin most of my life. And I was the original founder of Kids in a New Groove.
All right.
I'm Dorian Colbert. I've been in Austin more than half my life now. I'm originally from Beaumont, Texas.
Oh, really? My wife's from Port Neches.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
P&G.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I am the program coordinator for Kids in a New Groove.
All right. And so you founded Kids in a New Groove. So what's the Wow? What's the how? It's a Wednesday afternoon. Wednesday evening.
Right.
What was the reason behind that?
Well, I was working as a juvenile prosecutor in Austin and saw a lot of kids coming through the foster care system that didn't have adequate community resources. And at the time, I was working with a band, or actually shortly afterwards, started working with the band Alpha Rev that Dorian was a part of. And just came up with the idea of putting musicians with kids in foster care. And it ended up just organically growing from that, where kids were, initially we had musicians, we tried to get the kids that were in the system to take a bus, figure out how to get to their music lessons, and that didn't work out. So then when we figured out that if we brought the music teachers to the kids, that it was going to be a great relationship that was more reliable, and it just ended up being a real support system for kids in foster care.
And so you were a prosecutor for Travis County.
Yes.
And you were just seeing what everybody would commonly call the system does. Right.
Just not enough resources for kids in foster care, not enough community resources, partnerships for children that Kids in a New Groove is now a part of, does amazing things for children that are in the child welfare system. But back when I was working as a prosecutor, it just seemed like there were so many barriers for kids in the foster care system to have normal experiences.
And so why music and not some other level of providing support? Are you a musician yourself? You just have that passion, or where does that come from?
No, I get asked that a lot, and I'm like, no, I cannot. No.
Major supporter of music.
Yeah, I'm a huge supporter. I mean, I think that the biggest reason why it's such a great, effective thing for kids is you can communicate through music without having to. It's almost like a different form of communication, and it's a way. It's almost like therapy, where kids can get things out, and they can get it out through a relationship with a teacher, but they can create things that forms a really special bond, and it's just really good for the soul. And it's just, I think it's one of the most effective programs that I've seen in the nonprofit space, as far as having a real world positive consequences for kids.
And so how did y'all meet? I know you said you managed the band, but how did that connection happen?
Probably through Devin. Well, no, I mean, but I don't know.
Was it through like Casey played like
That's right.
No,
that's
it was through
right.
Zane
that's
Willimon.
Right. That's right. Huh?
I think it was through Zane Willimon of Ubuntu that introduced us to you guys.
Oh, I mean, I think Casey did play an event at your house, right?
Yeah.
It was a fundraiser?
He played, it was for Ubuntu. Okay. This is how long Dorian and I have known each other.
That's great.
So we pieced it together. So Casey played an event for our house for Zane Willimon, who has the nonprofit called Ubuntu.
Okay.
And that's how I met Dorian and Casey and Brian Batch and some other great guys. And yeah,
Casey's a singer for Alpha Rev.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably preface.
That's all right.
Yeah. Casey McPherson's a really good singer-songwriter that now has his own incredible project with the Rose Foundation. But yeah, that's how we met years ago.
Okay. All right. And you were telling me before we started a little bit about your background. So you have a master's in, I don't want to butcher the title. What's your master's in?
Oh yeah, in developmental psychology.
Okay. And where does that come from? Was it just always a topic that interested you, or was it?
I was always interested in psychology. I've always been interested in behavior.
Okay.
And my dad is a pediatrician. So I think that's maybe where the interest in like kids came, but I didn't want to be a pediatrician. I didn't want to do exactly what my dad did, to his chagrin. But I think I just naturally fell into something that was kind of like, I think we both have a soft spot for kids, and we just both know how important early development is in children's lives, on how that can just change the course, steer the course of their lives. So always had an interest in that. And I think that's really where I got into development. I actually studied language acquisition first. When I was in graduate school, I was interested in how children learn language. And I think, that's a pretty integral part of music, at least with, singing.
You're right. Yeah.
So I think I was just kind of interested. I'm interested in a lot of things. So
that's
same here. That's how we always end up, like circling back. And
that's super interesting, and obviously hits home pretty hard with me right now. We're at the talking age and figuring that out, and I don't know, man. It's challenging for sure, and the world we live in right now, you feel like you have your guard on 24/7 with no matter what's happening around, in terms of there's so much access to just the wrong shows, or too much of cartoons and all that stuff. So that's our current challenge right now.
That's a lot.
It is,
right.
But that's really interesting. And so with your role right now, I guess, could you explain your role a little bit more in depth?
My role, I was on the board of Kids in a New Groove since its inception, 2009. And
2009. Okay.
What I did then was I basically helped to put together shows, like fundraiser shows.
Okay.
Because of my network in the music community. And so when this position came up, I wanted to do something kind of like that, to where I was still like, help using my network for Kids in a New Groove. So most of what I do, on a day-to-day, I deal with a lot of the mentors and mentees, pairing them together, finding instruments, suitable instruments, finding musicians who are in the same area as the mentee.
I see.
That's one of the hardest parts about
just the pure logistics of getting two people together.
Right. And the thing is, most of the musicians in Austin are kind of in one part of the city. And most of the kids who are in the foster care system are in another part of the city. So it's, it's a task of kind of putting that there together. I do that with my co-worker partner, Dave Bechet, our program manager. Yeah, so do that. And then I help to put together a lot of the events. We usually throw a couple of concerts at least a year. We have one coming up on December 4th, actually.
Yeah, we will absolutely get into
a Holiday Hope show. We have songwriting workshops, find the songwriters for that, and the studio space to do that in. Yeah, and so just a lot of the kind of just miscellaneous involving it, but also a lot of the just kind of hands-on, boots on the ground stuff with musicians in the area and, the mentees who are in the program. So
give me a rundown. And we kind of brushed over it, but Kids is now a part of Partnership for Children.
That's right. Yes.
Partnership for Children is, my words, basically is a support system for kids in the foster care system. Just, I guess, if you could give me a rundown of if you're a kid going through the system, through the Partnership for Kids / Kids in a New Groove system, what does that look like? So you were talking about from a logistics standpoint of coordinating mentees with mentors. So are there central places like, space and all the other kind of like music venues, so to speak, that you try to meet them at, or are you meeting in people's homes, or how does it work like that?
I mean, 99% of the time, the mentors are going to where the mentees live, whether it be in a group home, whether it be with a foster family, whether it be with the family that's adopted them. The mentors are generally going to where the mentees are. Okay.
And so is there I guess, what is the threshold or requirement? I'm just trying to get an idea of kind of like exactly who we're serving. Is there a specific threshold other than the unfortunate circumstance that you're in the Child Protective Services or you're in foster care?
I mean, that's really the only requirement, is that, they're in the system somehow or another. And we even have support and lessons for kids who have aged out of it, who aren't necessarily in the foster care system anymore.
Awesome.
So if they have these relationships, they've been together for years. We're not just going to end that whenever they, graduate or move out. So we try to keep those going as long as we can.
Yeah. And so when you started this and now in your involvement, has your perception changed on what it means to be in the foster care system? And I mean, you saw it every day in your everyday life, but has your perception changed, or is it really just kind of more of the same, and what you're doing is basically just helping these kids?
I mean, one thing I would say just from my experience is that kids that are in the foster care system are no different from any child anywhere. They just happen to be going through a life situation that's out of their control. So I think that's one thing is, when I was running the program, is that these are great kids, and they have their ups and downs like any other kid, but they're really no different than any other child other than what they happen to be going through. And Dorian could probably add to that. But
yeah, I'm just kind of amazed by the resilience of the kids in the program. It's kind of crazy considering some of the backstories, of these kids and kind of what they've gone through, and just their ability to adapt and grow within the context of the program and outside of it. I'm just kind of amazed, just knowing, I didn't have it hard at all.
Right.
But I saw the issues, as anyone does, but it pales in comparison to most of these kids. But yet they're still mostly well-adjusted, hopeful, inquisitive, caring individuals. And so that's, it's heartening to see that, like being in the system and someone being in the system for their whole lives hasn't just like taken it all out of them.
Right.
And I think like the biggest thing that is just amazing about the program is when you give a child like that in those circumstances an opportunity to like perform at Antone's or something like that. I mean, you can see the effect that it has. It really is an incredible experience for these kids.
Yeah, it's cool to see, especially we have recitals twice a year for the program. And so just to see, maybe a kid who, a year ago wouldn't say 2 words to you, and then you see him through the recitals and, a few recitals later, and they're singing songs. They want to sing as many songs as they can.
Yeah.
And they're talking about, their album that they've released on, Spotify, or, it's just, it's kind of wild to see them grow kind of, right before your eyes.
Yeah. I mean, I can only imagine the turnaround that a child that has gone through what they have to go through to gain the level of confidence in themselves, and what this program helps them gain that confidence. I mean, that's the reality, right? To get up on stage at a venue like Antone's and and perform in front of folks. And I think that's awesome. And so what's the best way to get involved as a mentee, or excuse me, as a mentor? I'm sorry.
kidsinanewgroove.org, the website. Apply to be a mentor.
Yeah.
That's really the quickest and easiest way to go about doing it. And I know we have a lot of musicians who want to be a part of the program, but can't necessarily devote a year, because it's a minimum requirement of a year for mentorship.
Okay.
But we have songwriting workshops. So we're cultivating more of those, working on summer camp stuff. We have lots of opportunities for musicians to volunteer, whether it be at, maybe some of our fundraising events too, at the actual event, or performing at one of the shows. So there's lots of different ways, but first and foremost, we're always looking for mentors.
Yeah. So what other, outside of just being a musician, are there any other ways to get involved, just as a general member of the community?
I mean, there are, like you said, at the events that we throw the fundraisers, we always need extra hands for that.
And Partnerships for Children frequently needs volunteers for holiday wishes and all kinds of things like that.
Yeah, we have the Holiday Wishes Drive, which is a toy drive or present drive for kids in the Austin area in the foster care system. I think we have 9,000 kids they're serving this year.
Wow.
So we rent, well, actually we are gifted a bunch of warehouse space. And, people come in and they help to organize the presents, things like that. So that's one big way to do that. But PFC has a lot of ways to do it. So go to partnershipsforchildren.org or kidsinanewgroove.org specifically for the King program.
So as a mentor for Kids in a New Groove, you said there's like a kind of a minimum time commitment, but what can you expect in terms of, like training? Is that something that's necessary, that's required, or do you offer that as a part of the program? And what does it actually look like? So you're, what I would imagine is you're sitting down with these children and you're teaching them an instrument, or teaching them how to write songs, or, how does that actually look?
Okay. So with the training, we have an online training course that everyone has to go through. It's mandatory, just to kind of give you some tools in dealing with kids in these type of situations. A lot of our mentors, it's their first experience with kids in the foster care system, or just kids at all, really, one-on-one. So we have that training, and then it's going to be 30-minute lessons. We try it for once a week at the mentees' residence. And a lot of it, music plays a big role, but a lot of it is really just
the relationship
portion.
Getting to know them, and letting them know you. It's just them knowing that an adult has taken the time to spend with them and teaching them an instrument or invest in them.
Right.
I think offers a lot of that confidence you're talking about.
100%. And I also think it's because it's outside of the therapy context. It's not like something court ordered or mandated. It's something that is a real relationship, and it's, music is kind of the bonding force, but it's incredible for them to have an outlet that is through something as meaningful as a relationship with a music teacher.
Right. And we tell people too, like, honestly, you don't have to be a great musician to mentor. Some of our mentors might be a week or two ahead of our students, usually not the case, but
like, to your point, that's really not the overall intention here. It's you're harnessing a relationship and investing in these kids and showing them maybe a potential that they didn't know was in them. So.
Since Dorian took over the program, though, I can say when I go to the recitals, I mean, they're amazing. The girls that did the Cranberries cover, that is not an easy song.
What song did they cover?
It was Linger.
Yeah, Linger. Awesome. And they just nailed it. I couldn't believe it. So
No, we had one of our mentees. She just played at Amore, who played the piano.
Yeah.
She just played like Grand Central Station in New York.
Oh wow.
That's
wow. I mean, one of our students, one of our mentees, Izzy, she's recorded an album and released it. She was recording another one.
Wow.
Currently. And I think she's like 15 now, I think. I mean, she did that first album, I think, when she was 13. And when I met her, she was quiet as a mouse, It's just really, it's just really amazing to see them grow like this. And, we've had students who are going on. One of our mentees, Francisco, he's been a bass student, but he also picked up a guitar along the way. And he just graduated high school. He's not going to study music in college, but he's going to Texas Tech to study engineering, I believe. Yeah. I mean, so even if they don't necessarily go into music, it gives them the tools and the confidence to go and do whatever they want to do.
Go chase life, right? I asked that question because, I'm sure there's a lot of, how do I say this? I'm sure there's a lot of what other people would consider just like a cool story, but for y'all, there's an absolute black and white success because these kids and you see where they came from and you see what they're going through and everything. So how many kids does the program support a year?
Right now, we kind of are hovering around 50 matches. The thing is, we always have more kids. Mm-hmm. We always have more mentors, but we don't always have mentors who we can travel to those kids. Yeah. Or who play the instruments that those kids want to play, or vice versa. So yeah, we usually hover between 50 and 60. And we're trying to take on more, you know, when we get the mentors in the right places,
Maybe someone could donate a software program where we could do a matching, like geographic matching.
We have a program that we use. It's not perfect.
Yeah.
But we can kind of tell where everybody is. But the thing is that in Austin, most of the musicians are in the South.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then a lot of the group homes and things like that are in the North.
Yep.
Or we have a lot of kids who are in the periphery, in Pflugerville, Round Rock.
A lot of kids are in that area.
So, is it generally serving the greater Austin area only? Pflugerville, Round Rock, Hutto, down to Buda, Manchac, Kyle, that area, Austin, obviously, that area?
Generally speaking, ideally we'd scale it up to other cities. We do have kids. We have one mentee who's in, I think, like Rhode Island now or something, but still does lessons with her mentor.
Cool.
So that's a possibility.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
We try to make it accessible to everyone.
Yeah.
If we can, we can make it work.
Have y'all had any conversations about expanding? I mean, and obviously resources are going to be a big part of this, but expansion into other cities, areas, states.
It's a lot harder than
I'm
we don't have enough time in this podcast.
And the thing is, and it's a long story too, with the kids in a new group and kind of its evolution. We basically had to start over when we moved over to PFC.
Oh, I see. Okay.
We almost folded during COVID. For a few different reasons, but we soldiered on, and PFC took us under their wing. But it was kind of like, okay, we got to kind of
figure out how it fits into that other program.
So we kind of not starting over, by any means, but the idea of scaling was there initially, and it still is there now. But it's got basically a lot more mouths to feed where we are.
Well, I am curious. I mean, if resources were unlimited and we did find a big donor or whatever the case may be, found a software engineer to help with these situations, what do you think would be what is the most highest priority in terms of where those resources could go for you guys?
I mean, really, it's we've talked about like having like community space or somewhere where we could have the mentors meet the mentees.
Like a central
right.
brick and mortar, so to speak.
I mean, that would be, pie in the sky. Yeah, but just ways to, I guess, get the mentors and the mentees in the same space. That's really the issue here. And like I said, we're always looking for more mentors, more mentees where they are. And as much as we can, we try to match if the mentee wants, say, like a same sex mentor, because some of them do have trauma related to that. So we try to match, if we have a female mentee with a female mentor, and that can be harder to find sometimes.
Right.
There's a lot of complexity that initially you don't see. And it seems like, oh, why couldn't you just have, so many 500 kids? But there's a lot of complexity just within the foster care system itself.
Right.
And so there's that hurdle. And then I think that they've figured out a lot, and we figured out a lot, when we started it way back when, but there's a lot of hoops to go through. So scaling kind of requires understanding the complexity of the whole system. And that is, I think, a challenge, outside of just like where the kids are located.
Yeah.
Right. And because, we have, these kids are still in on a tenuous situation sometimes.
Yeah.
And so like, we may have a week where we get 5 new matches, and then the next day we'll lose 2 or 3 of them for, whatever reason. So you're always kind of spinning different plates,
Yeah. I saw Girls in a New Groove that happened. I'm not sure if it was a concert that happened last year, or is that one of your typical kind of fundraisers that you host?
It wasn't typical. So we had a songwriting workshop that summer, female songwriting workshop, some of the female songwriters in the area.
Who were the songwriters?
It was Melat, Monica Valley.
Oh, okay.
Cece Berry.
I went to school with her.
With who?
Cece.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I think she's so good.
Right on.
Yeah, she's great.
Those were the 3. And we had a songwriting workshop, and it went so well. We were like, why don't we have a concert where they can perform these songs?
Yeah, okay.
And so it was just kind of like a natural outgrowth from the songwriting workshop.
And what are you spoke on kind of some fundraisers earlier on in the show. What are the, call it, standard kind of fundraisers that you try to accomplish each year? And
well, the Holiday Hope concert's been the big one.
Okay.
And you're invited.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You should definitely come.
Thank you.
It's December 4th at Antone's. It's been held at Antone's since we started it. That's kind of the big one. But then we also have, in March, generally, we have a mentor kind of appreciation and concert where the mentors will perform, sometimes with their mentees too. One of our mentors, Laura Price, actually kind of heads that up.
Okay.
And we're actually in plans to do another potential fundraising concert in the spring with Women in Music, which is a nonprofit here. It's a national or international nonprofit, I think. But they started a chapter here in Austin over the past year, I think. So we're in talks with them to do some sort of concert or fundraiser. And we're still figuring it out. We're still adding things to the equation. Before, the job that Dave and I had was carried out by one person. So now we have, another body, but we're still kind of, growing a lot and figuring out kind of what
works,
what doesn't. Before we had a concert club series where we had like a concert every quarter, and people would buy a membership to it. We
would have a luncheon, and it was so fun. That was, I wish that y'all still did that, but it is very work intensive. But we would do a luncheon. We had Terry Lacona as a speaker. We had Kathy Valentine from the Go-Go's. We would have different speakers come, and then people would buy these memberships, and we would do 4 shows throughout the year and raise money at those shows. But it is, a lot. It's a lot of production and things like that. So,
yeah, we'd like to do something like that, similar, but within PFC, there's only so much support you can have.
Right.
Like because there are other programs within PFC.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay.
Yeah. That's the challenge of a lot of nonprofits, right?
Yeah.
Is they have a lot of programs under the greater program umbrella, and it's a matter of how resources are shared and how the community responds to those individual programs. I was involved with Austin Sunshine Camps for a number of years, and some other school and children related stuff. And it's unfortunate that it's always the same story of, the resources, and even talking with organizations like Sims, who are a big nonprofit here in town. I mean, everybody's feeling the same thing.
I'm just really happy that King, we call it King for short. I'm just happy that the program has continued to thrive with Dorian and Partnerships for Children, because statistically, small nonprofits don't make it past a decade. And I know a lot of nonprofits that didn't. So it's really a great testament that to the effectiveness of the program, and also to PFC, that it's still going.
Yeah.
And hopefully will be for years to come.
Well, let's talk about this contest we have going on. So the King Sings for a Dream contest.
Yep.
So I'll let one of y'all kind of lay it down here on what that contest means. Okay.
Well, the idea is that songwriters can go to the website, which is, you can go to partnershipsforchildren.org and find the link. But I believe by the time this airs, it might, the period of entry might be over with. But through Friday, songwriters go in and they upload at least a minimum 1-minute video. And then the public can support Partnerships for Children and Kids in a New Groove by voting for these individuals, songwriters, and picking their favorites and just going on and voting. And I think they get one free vote, and then other votes are going to be a donation towards this program. And so we really want to encourage everybody to go vote. And we're going to have 2 rounds of voting. The first round will be to make it to the top 10. And so the highest donation amounts, those 10 will make it to the top 10. And then we will have another cut of donations to make it to the top 5. And then we have celebrity judges that we haven't revealed yet that are going to pick the winner from those top 5. And then that winner will perform at Antone's at our holiday concert on December 4th.
And so the winner of the contest will perform, but also kids from the program will perform as well?
Kids from the program and some local musicians.
Okay.
In Austin as well.
All right. Who are those musicians?
Right now we have Jonathan Terrell. We have, Cece's going to do it. Cece Berry, awesome. Monica Valley, Maylott, Trey Privet, who had a band Los Coast for a while, and Rob Baird. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. I know there's at least 1 or 2 others, but
did I see David Ramirez, or was I?
David, he had to pull out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
right. That's all right.
He had, I guess his cousin is getting married.
Okay.
That weekend.
No, dang it, those weddings.
It's funny. He's like, David was the first. David came up to me. He was like, I want to do the show.
Yeah.
It was the first one I had on there, and like, yeah.
Also, I forgot to mention that the winner gets $2,000. They get studio time at King Electric. Mm-hmm. They get a straight music gift certificate. They get a photo session. And so it's a great prize package too.
Even just $2,000 for a musician.
I think
that's pretty good. Right?
That's great. And it's 8 hours at King Electric.
I think so. Is that right?
8 hours of studio time.
Yeah.
And it is kingsings.partnershipsforchildren.org.
Okay. And so, obviously this couldn't be put on without a lot of community support. And so, do y'all expect a pretty good turnout for the show?
I think that there's always pretty good turnout for that holiday concert.
Yeah. Oh, and Ruby Stewart's going to be performing as well.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think one of the things too, when I originally started the program that's still important to me is having musicians and having like the local music community involved with Kids in a New Groove, we've had a lot of different Austin musicians through the years. I mean, we should make a list because I don't even remember how far back, but so many artists have performed for us.
Shaky Graves.
Even Shaky Graves did a show for us.
That's
awesome.
Midland, yeah. And I mean, a lot of these people just volunteered their time essentially. And so we want to keep that going as well.
Yeah. I mean, if anybody's listened to one episode of this show, the thing that they get tired of me talking about and hearing about is how much I think this musical community is. And you could talk way more about this than I could. You've actually lived the life of touring and been on the road, but how much this community supports musicians and then how much the musical community supports each other. And I think you hit the nail on the head with like that's a prime example of all these, Grammy level musicians coming together to support your mission.
I mean, they really did. And so, I didn't really have much to offer them back then, but they really believed in what we're doing. And I think that, a lot of artists have a big heart for what we're doing.
Yeah. Well,
Charlie Crockett, actually, we were trying to get him. We've been trying to get him.
Come on, Charlie.
But he was actually in the foster care system. He made it. I mean, he couldn't do it last year, but he made a really generous donation. So yeah, a lot of musicians who, could really be doing anything with their money and their time.
Right.
Have been really helpful.
I've been really supportive of you and your mission. I mean, that's kind of where, and I ask everybody this question, so I'm curious. I think y'all, if I had to guess, you're going to have two different opinions, but that's why I asked the question. What's your take on the term live music capital of the world? What does that mean to y'all?
I mean, I personally don't think the musicians in Austin get the resources that they need from the city necessarily. I mean, like from a city policy standpoint or from like the community, like I think the community is very supportive. I just think that they deserve better financial resources across the board. And even when we had a lot of artists performing for free back in the day, when I was running Kids in a New Groove, at some point I was like, okay, we need to raise more money to pay these artists because they're just not valued enough. Everyone loves it, but it's like people don't want to pay for art necessarily like they should. Right, that's just my opinion. Dorian,
that's why I asked.
Why, people pay a lot of money for gold. Because it's rare, right. And like, if it's not that rare and like, there's so many talented musicians in Austin, then people don't really view it as a rare commodity.
They take it for granted.
Yeah, they take it for granted. But as, Austin musicians are getting priced out to other cities, or maybe we will see people have more reverence for art, music in the near future.
But I am curious. I want to talk a little bit about your kind of background. We kind of skipped right into it and got right into kids. So you're a drummer. You played in a couple bands here in town. Which are those bands?
Oh wow! From the
oh
start.
My God, my favorite was Lomita.
Oh yeah, they were great. I mean, I've been playing music in Austin since 2001.
Okay.
My first band was True Penny, that's how I met the Alpha Rev guys and started playing with them. And then I was with a band called Lomita. I played in a band called Cowboy and Indian years ago. We played ACL one year. And
what was that experience like?
Oh, it was, I don't know. I kind of blacked out. It's just like you get on stage. Well, that's the thing. I feel like most of the big shows I played, it's just I get on stage and
you just don't remember.
And I forget, it's just like, and the next thing you know, I'm walking off. I'm like, what just happened?
But are you focusing on, you're just like, I can't screw this up because it's a big show? Or is it like, this is just another gig I'm playing with my friends?
Well, the thing is, when you're on a big stage, like I played with this band Midland. Well, while we played
this
big
band
shows.
Midland.
I know.
And, not everybody knows. I mean, if they don't listen to country music, they don't know. But the thing is, you only really see like the first row of heads, you know?
Yeah.
And everything else is just a big mass of people. It's like one big entity. So it's like, I don't know. Don't really think about it.
Yeah.
That, you know, that way.
I mean, as a bedroom guitarist, you know, that's just, it sounds awesome to me to play in front of that many people. But I always question, like, would it feel like I'm just playing in a garage, or would it feel like I am literally playing in front of thousands?
Depends on how close you can be to each other. If you can actually be close on stage, which is cool when you're an opener for like a major act.
Because you got the big stage, but you're on the size of this carpet. Yeah. I got you.
So that can be fun. You know, most of the if I get nervous, it's because I know another good drummer is
who's watching it.
Or something. Like JJ Johnson in the crowd or something. Oh man.
And I could see how, I mean, like if you play like at a Continental Club or a Seaboys, like that's pretty intimate. You can reach across and high five the person in front of you, but you play those big shows, there's a bunch of dudes, there's a line of dudes, and then grass, and then a giant fence, and then the people, right? And so it's just like,
and that way too, you kind of feel disconnected from the crowd a bit, and then it's just you're playing to each other then, and for each other, and so it can be just like being in a practice room at that point.
So sorry I distracted you. So we ended on Midland. What other bands?
There's been Greyhounds, that I play with, and they were my favorite band to see in Austin before I started playing with them, which was really cool.
Great group of musicians.
Yeah. It's the band Leopold and His Fiction.
God, I forgot. I mean, I remember all this, but dang, Dorian, we're getting old. I mean, I'm getting old.
Artist Nagavali, who I play with, still to this day I pick up with. It's, I don't know. There's so many bands that I've played with at this point. Are
you playing today still?
Yeah. I still pick up gigs. Actually, I have one Thursday.
When's the next show? Or
Thursday.
Where?
It's at Swan Dive.
Oh yeah.
It's this band Calico Sky.
Okay.
They're really good too. These twin brothers. It's like synth pop.
Wait, did they submit to the?
Yeah.
They're great.
Yeah.
If I was in town, I would go to that show. They're awesome. They're like, kind of reminds me of like Thompson Twins back in the day.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was talking about when I talked to you earlier.
Yeah.
Those guys are great.
Yeah.
Awesome. And
actually, I played a gig too recently with Dee Snider from the singer Twisted Sister.
Yeah.
No way.
Tell me about that, man.
That is
well, Trey Privet.
Dude, you can't, when I hit record, you got to open up with that. You got to open up.
I forget, it's like the things just kind of happen. They're kind of one-off sometimes.
Yeah, I know, but it's just funny because like every time I talk to people on the show, it's like that. It's like, we talk about what we're talking about, and then it's like, oh yeah. I was with Jimmy Vaughn last night. I'm like, dude.
Well, it was funny because it was kind of a random thing. Trey Privet from Los Coast, he hit me up and he's like, hey, you can play drums for this gig. It's like a private gig for some company. And I'm like, sure. And they're like, this guy Dee Snider is going to come in and sing.
This guy.
We have to learn his songs. I'm like, I know Dee Snider. I know Twisted Sister.
Oh my God.
I was a little kid watching the
I mean, TV. I couldn't name one Twisted Sister song, but still, like,
no, I could. I mean, I can name at least a couple of them. I mean, we're not going to take it. That's like their big one.
Oh yeah.
And this other one, I Want to
right.
Rock. That's another big one that they do.
I guess I could name 3 songs.
Yeah. But and so literally learn, a set of covers to do on our own, and then like, his set of songs, and literally like his music director comes the day of the show, to our sound check, listens to us play Dee's songs. Dee isn't there. Listens to us play his songs and like gives us notes on what he might do during the song.
Wow. Did he give you the like music executive arm crossed?
He did.
Just
sitting there. But at some point, so he pick up a mic and like do his best Dee Snider impression.
Oh.
This is hilarious.
And then so we went through the songs, and I guess we, played them well enough. And then like literally like we play our set of covers. Dee eventually comes and
rolls in,
beelines onto stage, rocks it out, and then immediately leaves the stage.
Don't even shake your hand.
I mean, he did shake our hand, you know,
Okay.
and during the set though, this is what was really cool. We didn't talk a lot, you know, but going through those songs, you know, there's a certain kind of communication you have to have, especially if you don't know each other.
Right.
Sure,
and they're just
absolutely.
rolling in.
This is the first time we're meeting.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
I've had shows like that where I've met the band on stage. You know, they give me their songs to play, to learn.
Uh-huh.
And then like I show up night of the show and meet them and then play their songs, you know. I do a lot of pickup work like that. It's not for the faint of heart. A lot of drummers don't want to do it.
Did he roll in and play those hits? Is that what they wanted?
Did. Yeah. And he rocked him out.
That would be so fun to drum for that.
It was so fun.
I mean, that is like.
What was really cool though, he was pleasantly surprised with our ability to play his song, playing well. He was kind of like shocked.
Yeah.
You know?
Who else who's we?
It was Trey Privet, the singer of Love's Coast, on guitar and vocals. And I mean, honestly, the other guys in the band, I didn't know before. You know, so I'm trying to remember. One was, his name was Charlie.
But is that pretty typical I would assume that's pretty typical now that I think about it in the business of, like you said, you pick up a lot of gigs that way. But I mean, where you're all talented musician, you're professionals in your craft, and people recognize that. It's just like, I'm trying to draw a parallel to any other profession, and I don't know if it's like,
well, it's just like languages. It's just like, if you have a room of English speakers, it doesn't matter if they know each other.
Well put.
They can have a conversation.
Yeah, that's so true.
And so it's like that. We all know this language.
Yeah.
And so even though we don't know each other, we know how to speak this language. And so we can do it, you know, on the fly. Yeah.
What a story though, man. And where was this?
The Sunset Room, I think. Yeah. I think it's Brazos and thereabouts. I forget the company that was having the event.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool,
it was
man.
this bucket list kind of thing. You know, it was on my bingo card. It wasn't on my, my bingo card, but it was. Yeah,
that's really cool.
Yeah,
I know you love drumming for that.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Damn. That's
we need to do another. We need to do another podcast for Adventures in Alpha Rev because.
Yeah, I would love to. I would love to.
Any of the bands I play with, they do a lot. You know?
And so, it sounds like you've kind of taken a step back from being from running Kids in the New Groove. So, what does your current day look like?
When you were talking about scaling, I tried to scale Kids in a New Groove through a website called Care to Rock, and I had to shut that down, unfortunately, last summer. But I've just been kind of enjoying different things. I mean, I still stay involved with Kids in a New Groove. I do some different things in real estate. I just have different things that I do. But I spent maybe almost 7 years with Care to Rock. And it's just very hard to raise capital for socially conscious driven businesses. And I realized that my goal with Kids in a New Groove was always just to get as many kids into the program as possible. And trying to translate that into a business model was just so much harder than what I thought.
Did you ever, and again, this costs money, but did you ever work with any kind of consultants or anything like that? Because I know there's lots of those in the nonprofit space, all come with the fee, but.
Well, I mean, what I was trying to do is, and what I did actually accomplish is we had music teachers from all over the US. We even had some from all over the world actually that were teaching on our site. And then people would come and take online lessons. And then those teachers would also volunteer for youth and foster care online. But I just had a hard time scaling. You know, when we finally eventually found our sweet spot, which was really schools, it was just kind of like my engine was just burned out from having run a nonprofit for a decade and then doing a startup for 7 years. I just realized like I needed to raise a lot of capital to keep it going. And investors really want to make 10 times their return. They don't. It's so different with a nonprofit because you can go out there and show what you're accomplishing and you can get grants and things like that. But with a business, They just want to know what the return is. And so I just wasn't really familiar with that world. I was, more familiar with the nonprofit world.
Mm-hmm.
And so just making that shift was pretty difficult.
Yeah.
But we did have, I guess it was, what's funny is it was more successful in a lot of highly funded startups because we had a lot of students and we had schools that had, over 100 kids enrolled, but to keep it going without capital was just basically impossible.
Well, to me, it sounds like there's clearly a need, and you've been around for, like you said, most nonprofits kind of fizzle away after 10 years, and you've cleared that mark and then some.
Yay! And, thanks, Dorian.
That's not by accident, is my point, right? And so, I wish you guys all the success, and I'm excited to see what this contest brings out. I also think it's a very unique way. It's a very, call it Austin way,
yes,
to handle business. And
we dove in like really quick on this, and we didn't really have a lot of prep time.
Yeah.
And your dog wants to reiterate that. Yeah. We really just threw it out. We threw it out pretty quickly, but I think it'll be a great experiment, and I'm really hoping that we get more community aware of this, because I think it could be a great way not only to raise money. That's why it's called King Sings for a Dream. It's like the dream of helping the kids in our program succeed, and the dream of like a singer-songwriter getting, noticed by the city of Austin and getting, prize money and a chance to have professional recording time. And so I think it really serves two goals at once.
It does. It really does. Well, thank y'all again. I really appreciate y'all letting me be a part of this story. And like I said, wish you all the best, and we'll see y'all on December 4th at Antone's.
Thanks for having us.
Hope to see you there.
Thanks for listening. Know someone we should talk to? Give us a shout on Instagram at Austin Music People. Tell your friends, tell your family, get out there and support Austin music.